In today's fast-paced world, many men unknowingly fall into the habit of people-pleasing in their relationships, whether with a partner, friends, or even colleagues. At first, it might seem noble, like you're keeping the peace or being considerate. But over time, this habit drains your energy, blurs your sense of identity, and leaves you feeling unfulfilled. You may even begin to wonder, why does my happiness always come second? What if I told you there's a better way to live? A way rooted in timeless wisdom, inspired by the teachings of Marcus Aurelius and the principles of Stoicism. This video will show you how to break free from the cycle of people-pleasing, rediscover your inner strength, and build healthier, more balanced relationships. If this resonates with you, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments. Let's grow stronger together. Chapter 1. Understanding people-pleasing. People-pleasing is a habit that many men adopt without even realizing it, and it often stems from a deep-seated need for approval. At its core, it is a behavior rooted in fear of rejection, fear of conflict, and fear of being perceived as selfish or unkind. You may find yourself going out of your way to meet everyone's expectations, saying yes even when you're exhausted, or suppressing your own needs and desires to avoid disappointing others. This behavior can feel noble or selfless at first, but over time it becomes a burden that leaves you feeling unfulfilled, resentful, and disconnected from your true self. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, offers profound wisdom for those caught in this cycle. He reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This quote highlights a crucial truth. The approval you seek from others is not something you can control. People's opinions, reactions, and expectations are external events, and no matter how much you try to please them, you cannot guarantee their satisfaction. Yet many of us continue to chase this illusion, believing that we can win love, respect, or acceptance by bending to others' will. The first step to breaking free from people-pleasing is recognizing this pattern in your life. Take a moment to reflect. How often do you say yes when you want to say no? How many times have you ignored your own needs to make someone else happy? While it might seem like you're being generous, people-pleasing often comes at the cost of your authenticity. It forces you to act in ways that are inconsistent with your values, leaving you feeling disconnected from who you truly are. True strength, as Marcus Aurelius teaches, comes from within. It comes from valuing your principles more than external validation. When you prioritize your values, you create a foundation of self-respect and integrity that no one can take away from you. This doesn't mean you should become indifferent to others' needs or stop caring about your relationships. Instead, it's about striking a balance, being kind and considerate without losing yourself in the process. Understanding people-pleasing also requires confronting the underlying insecurities that drive this behavior. Often, it stems from a belief that your worth is tied to how others perceive you. You may fear that if you don't constantly accommodate others, they'll abandon you or think less of you. But the truth is, the people who truly value you will respect your boundaries and appreciate you for who you are, not for how much you can do for them. When you stop seeking approval from others, you free yourself from a cycle of dependency. You realize that your value isn't determined by external factors. It's inherent. Marcus Aurelius urges us to focus on what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and choices. By doing so, we reclaim our power and begin to live authentically. As you move forward, start by making small changes. Practice saying no to things that don't align with your values or priorities. It might feel uncomfortable at first, but each time you assert yourself, you take a step toward building confidence and self-respect. Remember, you are not responsible for managing others' emotions or expectations. Your primary responsibility is to live in alignment with your values and to honor your own needs. Understanding people-pleasing is not just about identifying the behavior. It's about recognizing the harm it does to your sense of self and making a conscious decision to change. By embracing the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius and the principles of Stoicism, you can break free from this habit, find strength in your authenticity, and build relationships that are grounded in mutual respect and genuine connection. This is the first step toward reclaiming your power and living a life that is true to who you are. Chapter 2. Why Stoicism Rejects Pleasing Everyone. Stoicism, as taught by Marcus Aurelius and other great philosophers like Epictetus and Seneca, is a philosophy rooted in the pursuit of reason, virtue, and inner peace. A key tenet of Stoicism is the understanding that you cannot and should not strive to please everyone. Marcus Aurelius famously wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one." This simple yet profound statement encapsulates the Stoic rejection of people-pleasing. Instead of worrying about how others perceive you or whether you meet their expectations, Stoicism urges you to focus on living in accordance with your own values and principles. People-pleasing at its core often requires sacrificing your authenticity and betraying your values in an attempt to gain approval. You might agree to things you don't believe in, suppress your own needs, or take on responsibilities that aren't yours, all because you fear the consequences of saying no. While these actions may temporarily earn you the favor of others, they come at a great cost, the erosion of your integrity. Over time, this behavior leaves you feeling hollow, frustrated, and disconnected from your true self. Stoicism, however, offers a different path. Instead of chasing external validation, a Stoic man prioritizes doing what is right over doing what is popular. This principle aligns with Marcus Aurelius's advice to be a good man. But what does it mean to be a good man in the Stoic sense? It means acting in harmony with reason and virtue, choosing honesty, courage, fairness, and self-control, even when those choices might not win you applause. The Stoic ideal is to act from a place of integrity, not fear. To break free from the habit of people-pleasing, start by examining your motivations. Ask yourself, am I making this decision out of fear, guilt, or a desire to avoid conflict? Or am I acting out of integrity and a commitment to my values? This self-reflection is crucial because it helps you identify when you are being driven by external pressures rather than your own inner compass. It's not always easy to confront these truths, but doing so is the first step toward reclaiming your autonomy. Another important lesson from Stoicism is the recognition that it is impossible to please everyone. Human beings are diverse with different needs, opinions, and expectations. What pleases one person might upset another, and trying to navigate these conflicting demands is a futile endeavor. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that other people's opinions and reactions are not within our control. Instead of trying to manage how others feel about you, focus on what you can control: your thoughts, actions, and choices. Living as a Stoic also means accepting that not everyone will understand or appreciate your decisions. Some people might view your refusal to people-please as selfish or unkind, especially if they've come to rely on your constant compliance. But remember, as Marcus Aurelius said, it is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. You cannot control others' perceptions, but you can control how you respond to them. Choose to respond with patience and understanding, but remain firm in your commitment to living authentically. One of the greatest benefits of rejecting people-pleasing is the sense of freedom it brings. When you stop trying to meet everyone's expectations, you free yourself from the constant anxiety of wondering whether you're good enough in their eyes. Instead, you begin to measure your worth by your own standards. by how well you live in alignment with your values. This shift not only strengthens your sense of self, but also deepens your relationships. Genuine connections are built on mutual respect and authenticity, not on one-sided efforts to please. Ultimately, Stoicism teaches us that true fulfillment comes from within, not from the fleeting approval of others. By embracing this wisdom, you can let go of the need to please everyone and focus instead on being the best version of yourself. Let your actions be guided by reason and virtue, and trust that this path will lead you to a life of integrity, strength, and peace. Chapter 3. The power of saying no. Saying no is one of the simplest yet most powerful acts of self-assertion. For many men, however, it can feel like a daunting challenge. We are often conditioned to believe that declining a request is rude, selfish, or uncaring. Yet nothing could be further from the truth. Saying no is not about rejecting others. It's about honoring yourself. It's about setting healthy boundaries that allow you to live authentically and prioritize what truly matters. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic philosopher, understood the importance of focusing on what you can control and letting go of what you cannot. In the context of people-pleasing, this means recognizing that you have the right and the responsibility to say no to things that do not align with your values or goals. When you say no to something that drains your time or energy, you are, in essence, saying yes to yourself. This act of prioritization is essential for personal growth and well-being. It allows you to focus your resources on the things that truly matter: your health, your passions, your relationships, and your goals. Every time you agree to something that doesn't serve you, you are taking time and energy away from these priorities. Learning to say no is not about being selfish. It's about being intentional with your life. For many people, the fear of saying no stems from a desire to avoid conflict or disappointment. You might worry that refusing a request will make others think less of you or even damage your relationships. But as Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Other people's reactions are not within your control. What you can control is your own response and the clarity with which you communicate your boundaries. Start small when practicing the art of saying no. You don't have to jump into life-changing decisions right away. Begin with minor requests that don't align with your values or that feel burdensome. For example, if a coworker asks you to take on a task that isn't your responsibility, politely decline by saying, "I'd love to help, but I'm currently focused on other priorities." This kind of response is firm yet respectful, and it sets a clear boundary without offending the other person. Over time, saying no becomes easier and more natural. Each time you assert your boundaries, you build confidence and self-respect. You also teach others to respect your time and energy. People will come to understand that you value yourself and your commitments, and they will adjust their expectations accordingly. Far from damaging your relationships, this often leads to healthier and more balanced dynamics. True friends, colleagues, and loved ones will appreciate your honesty and recognize that your boundaries are a sign of self-respect, not a lack of care for them. It's also important to remember that saying no is a skill, and like any skill, it takes practice to master. You might feel uncomfortable or guilty at first, especially if you're used to saying yes all the time. These feelings are normal, but they will diminish as you experience the benefits of setting boundaries. Marcus Aurelius advises us to focus on what is within our power, and your ability to say no is entirely within your control. Embrace it as a tool for living a more intentional and fulfilling life. By learning to say no, you take a crucial step toward breaking free from the habit of people-pleasing. You reclaim your time, energy, and sense of self. You begin to live in alignment with your values and priorities, rather than being pulled in every direction by others' expectations. This is not only liberating, but also empowering. As you grow more comfortable with asserting your boundaries, you'll find that saying no becomes a gateway to a life of greater authenticity, balance, and peace. Remember, every time you say no to something that doesn't serve you, you are making space for something that does. This is the essence of personal growth and the foundation of a life lived with integrity. Chapter 4. Reclaiming your identity. In a world that often demands conformity, people pleasers find themselves trapped in a cycle of adapting to others' expectations, sacrificing their true selves in the process. This endless effort to fit in, gain approval, or avoid conflict slowly chips away at their identity. Marcus Aurelius, a master of self-awareness and Stoic wisdom, offers a powerful reminder to those lost in this cycle. Do not act as if you had 10,000 years to live. Focus on the present. This profound statement encourages us to stop delaying the process of reclaiming our identity. Life is fleeting, and the time to rediscover who you truly are is now. Not tomorrow, not someday, but today. To begin this journey, it's essential to reflect on who you are when no one is watching. Strip away the roles you play for others, the partner, the employee, the friend, and ask yourself, what do I stand for? What values define me? Too often, people pleasers base their self-worth on external validation, losing sight of their inner compass. They prioritize others' needs and opinions over their own, believing that their worth depends on how much they can give or how well they can meet expectations. But Marcus Aurelius teaches us that true worth is rooted in character and actions, not in the fleeting approval of others. Reclaiming your identity starts with self-reflection. Take time to assess what matters most to you, what principles guide your decisions, what brings you fulfillment. This process may feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you've spent years molding yourself to fit others' desires. But it's a necessary step in breaking free from the habit of people-pleasing. By understanding your core values, you lay the foundation for a life that is authentically yours. Part of this journey is recognizing that you are enough as you are. You don't need to be everything to everyone to have value. Your worth is intrinsic. It doesn't fluctuate based on how much you do for others or how well you meet their expectations. Marcus Aurelius emphasizes the importance of self-sufficiency and inner strength. He believed that a person who lives in alignment with their principles is inherently valuable, regardless of external circumstances. When you internalize this truth, you free yourself from the need to constantly seek validation. Reclaiming your identity also involves letting go of the fear of judgment. People pleasers often worry about how others perceive them, fearing rejection or criticism if they show their true selves. But Marcus Aurelius reminds us that we cannot control others' opinions. We can only control our own actions and mindset. By focusing on what is within your control, you empower yourself to live authentically without being weighed down by the fear of what others might think. This process requires courage and patience. You might face resistance from those who have grown accustomed to your people-pleasing tendencies. They may not immediately understand or accept your newfound assertiveness, but remember, reclaiming your identity isn't about pleasing others. It's about honoring yourself. True relationships, built on mutual respect and understanding, will endure. And those that fall away often do so because they were rooted in imbalance or unrealistic expectations. As you reconnect with your true self, you'll notice a shift in your life. Decisions become clearer because they're guided by your values, not external pressures. Your confidence grows as you realize that your worth is not tied to how much you can do for others, but to the integrity of your actions. You'll find greater fulfillment in relationships that are based on authenticity and mutual respect, rather than one-sided efforts to please. Ultimately, reclaiming your identity is an act of liberation. It's a journey back to your true self, a self that is grounded in character, guided by values, and free from the chains of external validation. Marcus Aurelius' wisdom reminds us that life is too short to live as someone we're not. Embrace who you are, stand firm in your principles, and live each day with the knowledge that your worth is rooted in your authenticity. This is how you reclaim your identity and live a life of purpose and peace. Chapter 5. Practicing detachment. One of the most transformative principles of Stoicism is the practice of detachment, particularly detachment from outcomes. In our daily lives, we often invest immense energy and emotion into how others perceive us. Whether it's seeking approval from a partner, respect from colleagues, or admiration from friends, the need for validation can become all-consuming. Marcus Aurelius, in his timeless wisdom, observed this contradiction. It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. This statement highlights the irony of prioritizing external opinions over our inner peace and self-respect. Practicing detachment is the antidote to this harmful pattern. Detachment doesn't mean apathy or indifference. It's not about shutting yourself off from others or dismissing their feelings. Instead, it's about letting go of the need to control how others perceive you. When you're overly attached to outcomes, whether it's being liked, praised, or validated, you give away your power. You allow others' opinions to dictate your self-worth and behavior. Detachment liberates you from this dependency, enabling you to live authentically and in alignment with your values. At the heart of detachment is a focus on what you can control, your intentions and efforts. Marcus Aurelius and other Stoics teach us that while we can influence our actions and choices, the results are often beyond our control. People's reactions, opinions, and interpretations are shaped by their own experiences and biases. No matter how hard you try, you cannot guarantee a specific response from others. Instead of obsessing over these uncontrollable factors, Stoicism encourages you to shift your attention inward. Ask yourself, were my intentions pure? Did I act with integrity? If the answer is yes, then you've done your part, regardless of the outcome. Practicing detachment also helps you stop overthinking others' reactions. People pleasers often analyze every word, action, or expression, searching for signs of approval or disapproval. This mental habit is exhausting and unproductive as it focuses on things outside your control. By embracing detachment, you learn to let go of this overthinking. You realize that others' reactions say more about them than about you. Whether someone praises or criticizes you, it doesn't change your intrinsic worth. Your value is determined by your character and actions, not by fleeting opinions. To cultivate detachment, start with small steps. The next time you feel anxious about someone's opinion, pause and reflect on what truly matters. Are you living in alignment with your values? Are your actions guided by reason and integrity? If so, remind yourself that you've done your part and that others' perceptions are beyond your control. This simple practice can help reduce anxiety and build your confidence over time. Detachment also fosters resilience. When you stop tying your self-worth to external validation, you become less affected by criticism or rejection. You realize that these experiences, while uncomfortable, do not define you. Instead, they become opportunities for growth and self-reflection. Marcus Aurelius often emphasized the importance of viewing challenges as lessons, not as setbacks. By practicing detachment, you can approach criticism with an open mind, extracting value from it without letting it undermine your sense of self. It's important to note that detachment doesn't mean ignoring others' feelings or becoming self-centered. True detachment allows you to care for others without losing yourself in the process. It enables you to offer support, love, and kindness from a place of authenticity rather than from a need for validation. This creates healthier, more balanced relationships where both parties are free to be themselves. Ultimately, practicing detachment is about reclaiming your inner peace and autonomy. It's about breaking free from the cycle of people-pleasing and learning to live authentically. Marcus Aurelius' wisdom reminds us that we have limited time on this earth, and wasting it on others' opinions is a disservice to ourselves. Focus on what you can control, your intentions, actions, and mindset. Let go of the rest. In doing so, you'll discover a profound sense of freedom, strength, and clarity. A life guided by your values, not by the ever-changing judgments of others. Chapter 6. Building confidence through virtue. Confidence is the foundation of a life lived authentically and with purpose. It is also the antidote to people-pleasing, which thrives on self-doubt and a fear of disapproval. For those caught in the cycle of people-pleasing, building genuine confidence can feel like a monumental task. But Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor and philosopher, offers a simple yet profound roadmap. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. This wisdom underscores the importance of aligning your actions and words with your values. Confidence, in the Stoic sense, is not about arrogance or external validation. It is about living with integrity and being at peace with who you are. The Stoic man builds confidence through the practice of virtue. Virtue, in Stoic philosophy, refers to moral excellence, living in harmony with reason, justice, courage, and self-control. By consistently aligning your actions with these principles, you cultivate a deep sense of self-respect and inner strength. When you know that you are acting in accordance with what is right and true, you no longer feel the need to seek approval from others. Your confidence becomes rooted in your character, not in external validation. To begin this journey, start by defining what integrity means to you. Take time to reflect on your values and principles. What do you stand for? What kind of person do you aspire to be? Write these down and use them as a guide for your decisions and actions. For example, if honesty is one of your core values, commit to speaking the truth even when it's uncomfortable. If fairness is important to you, strive to treat others with equity and respect, regardless of the situation. These small, consistent choices will reinforce your sense of integrity and build a strong foundation for your confidence. Living by your values also requires self-awareness and discipline. People-pleasing often arises from a fear of confrontation or rejection, leading you to compromise your principles to keep others happy. But when you prioritize virtue over approval, you break free from this pattern. Marcus Aurelius teaches us that what matters most is whether your actions are just and reasonable, not whether they are popular. This shift in perspective allows you to focus on doing what is right, even in the face of criticism or disagreement. As you practice living virtuously, you'll begin to notice a profound change in how you view yourself. Confidence grows not from external praise, but from the quiet assurance that you are living authentically. You no longer need others to validate your worth because you've already validated it through your actions. This inner peace is one of the greatest rewards of living with integrity. It allows you to navigate life with clarity and purpose, unburdened by the constant need to please or impress others. Building confidence through virtue also transforms your relationships. When you live authentically, you attract people who respect and appreciate you for who you truly are. You set clear boundaries and communicate honestly, fostering trust and mutual respect. At the same time, you become less affected by criticism or rejection, recognizing that these are often reflections of others' perceptions rather than your own worth. This resilience allows you to engage with others from a place of strength, not insecurity. It's important to remember that this process takes time and effort. Confidence is not built overnight, nor is it a destination you reach and remain at forever. It is a continuous journey of self-improvement and self-discovery. There will be moments of doubt and setbacks along the way, but each challenge is an opportunity to reaffirm your commitment to your values. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Ultimately, confidence through virtue is about aligning who you are with how you live. It's about letting your actions reflect your principles and finding peace in the knowledge that you are living a life of integrity. When you embrace this path, you free yourself from the shackles of people-pleasing and step into a life of purpose, self-respect, and genuine confidence. This is the power of virtue, a power that no external opinion can take away. Chapter 7: Creating Balanced Relationships. Healthy relationships are built on a foundation of mutual respect, understanding, and authenticity. However, people-pleasing can disrupt this balance, turning relationships into one-sided dynamics, where your needs are consistently overshadowed by the demands and expectations of others. This imbalance not only harms you, but also prevents the relationship from reaching its full potential. Marcus Aurelius offers timeless guidance for navigating these challenges. Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself. This principle encourages you to approach relationships with both compassion and firmness, ensuring that your interactions are rooted in respect for yourself and others. When you stop people-pleasing, you begin teaching others to value your needs as much as their own. People-pleasing often involves suppressing your own desires, opinions, and boundaries to avoid conflict or gain approval. Over time, this behavior sends the message that your needs are less important, leading others to take your compliance for granted. By breaking free from this habit, you reclaim your voice and assert your right to be treated with respect. This shift not only benefits you, but also sets a positive example for those around you, encouraging healthier dynamics in your relationships. Setting clear boundaries is a crucial step in creating balanced relationships. Boundaries are not walls that shut others out. They are guidelines that define what is acceptable and what isn't. They protect your time, energy, and emotional well-being while fostering mutual respect. To establish boundaries, start by identifying your limits. What behaviors or situations make you uncomfortable or drained? Once you've clarified these, communicate them openly and calmly with those involved. For example, if a friend constantly interrupts your personal time, let them know that you need uninterrupted moments for self-care. Setting boundaries may feel uncomfortable initially, especially if you're used to prioritizing others' needs over your own, but it's an essential step toward balanced relationships. Communication is another cornerstone of healthy relationships. Many conflicts and misunderstandings arise from unspoken expectations or assumptions. As you move away from people-pleasing, make it a priority to communicate your needs and feelings clearly. Use I statements such as, "I feel overwhelmed when," or "I need some time to recharge," to express yourself without sounding accusatory. Open, honest communication fosters trust and ensures that both parties feel heard and valued. It also prevents resentment, which often builds when one person continuously suppresses their needs. Another vital aspect of balanced relationships is recognizing and addressing toxic dynamics. Some relationships may resist your efforts to establish boundaries or assert your needs. Toxic individuals may respond with guilt-tripping, manipulation, or outright hostility when you stop catering to their demands. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that we cannot control others' actions, only our own. In such cases, it's important to evaluate whether the relationship is worth maintaining. Walking away from toxic dynamics is not a failure. It's an act of self-respect. You deserve relationships that uplift and support you, not ones that drain your energy or compromise your well-being. Balanced relationships also require you to be tolerant and compassionate toward others. As Marcus Aurelius suggests, Being tolerant with others means understanding that everyone has their struggles, flaws, and unique perspectives. While it's important to assert your needs, it's equally important to approach others with empathy and patience. This balance of compassion and firmness ensures that your relationships are grounded in mutual respect rather than rigid expectations. As you practice creating balanced relationships, you'll notice a transformation in the quality of your connections. Relationships built on authenticity and mutual respect are more fulfilling and enduring than those rooted in compliance or control. You'll attract people who appreciate you for who you truly are, rather than who you think they want you to be. This authenticity fosters deeper bonds and a greater sense of trust, allowing your relationships to flourish. Ultimately, creating balanced relationships is about honoring yourself and others equally. It's about breaking free from the cycle of people-pleasing and embracing a dynamic where both parties' needs and boundaries are respected. Marcus Aurelius's wisdom serves as a guiding light in this journey, reminding us to approach relationships with both compassion and integrity. By doing so, you lay the foundation for deeper, more authentic connections that enrich your life and the lives of those around you. Breaking free from the cycle of people-pleasing is a challenging but transformative process that leads to profound personal growth and more fulfilling relationships. As Marcus Aurelius wisely states, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. This means that the way you choose to think about yourself, your actions, and your relationships directly impacts your happiness. By shifting your focus from seeking external validation to living in alignment with your true self, you reclaim your power and authenticity. Stoicism provides the tools to do this, helping you build confidence, resilience, and strength. Remember, the journey to authenticity begins with a single step, and you have the power to take it. If you found value in this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Comment, "I can do this," to affirm your commitment to living authentically and growing stronger together.